Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell. And yesterday I was trying to explain the pleasure or reward or general sense of, I don't know what the word is, but that I get from my passions of P-Funk and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm a fan of P-Funk. I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We as humans have evolved a way to have faith in things that can bring us joy, spiritual energy, spiritual uplifting, just because we believe somehow through our evolution. And this is a completely man-made, earth-based phenomena that we as humans can actually use our thinking or belief in something to make our body actually operate differently, to produce different glands and serotonins and dopamines that make us feel better or give us a sensation. It's like church. I grew up in church. So I grew up sitting on that pew, watching the choir and seeing worship and praise. So I understood early, or I began to understand early, or witness or experience what it's like to praise and to feel that sensation of completeness and oneness with something, and how it just makes you feel overwhelmingly good, like love. The sense of love, we also evolved that. From this sense of love, we can get a sense of well-being and safety and security just based on that moment. And just like with love, God, passions are the same to the individual. Some faiths and beliefs are more traditional, meaning they're more widespread. That means they're kind of mainstream, so they're easy to understand. Nowadays, we say, hey, yeah, I believe in God. No problem. Everybody knows what that means. They understand it. Yeah, it's been around. This is going to be a time where you say that you believe in God, and people aren't going to find that, it's not going to be so mainstream anymore. Maybe hundreds of years from now. But I believe we'll evolve off of that. And hopefully, in my thinking, Jeffery Scott Mitchell, that faith that we place in the sky, we'll place in ourselves, just like how we'll understand and we'll appreciate the things that we evolved, the things that we created. Humans created love. You might go anywhere else in this galaxy. I ain't gonna say universe because it's so big. Probably galaxy is too big too. But we take love for granted, that everything is love. Love is that we didn't do it, that it came from above, or it's nothing special to us. But there's a lot of things I believe that we evolve into our cultures and social systems and the way we operate as a species that we develop. We develop a lot of stuff, let alone the internet and electronics and the sciences, social sciences, all that, psychologies, we developed all of that. We did that. Just like I believe love evolved in us. So when I passion my football team, or I passion Parliament Funkadelic, and I go through the anticipation of a concert or a game, and years of gearing up for it and understanding it, the feelings that I get from that, the feelings that I get from having been a Steeler fan for a couple years, and then to have them actually win the Super Bowl, just as a fan, just as a young 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy fan, you're pulling for that team. It's like life or death every Sunday. You're sitting there watching that team. If they lose, you hurt, and that's real. I don't care. You can say the game is nothing. A bunch of boys running around in tights, hitting each other on the butt and tackling each other. But it's a game, and there's rules, and there's a competition. And from that, you have winners and losers. And when you win, when your team is successful, whatever that successful means to you, it feels good. It's like a reward. So for me as a boy, and how boys pick their football teams, you walk down the street, everybody know you a Pittsburgh Steeler. So you repping the Steelers. Your little gang, your world basically, which is all your friends, they know you as a Pittsburgh Steeler. So when the Steelers win a Super Bowl, you come walking in, they already know. They already know. You ain't got to say nothing, and you get rep. You get respect and rep for that. And we say it's we, the Steelers, we. I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler. Even though somebody say, oh yeah, you ain't get no check from them. They win a Super Bowl, you don't get nothing, blah, 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 blah. It's deeper than that. It's just like the belief in God. I've seen people praise God. You get that overwhelmingly good feeling. God is protecting them. After this life, we go to heaven. It's like love. You just get that blissful, everything is right with the world feeling. It can be fleeting. It can be for a moment or two, but you can reproduce it. We as humans can produce it. And I think there's even drugs that we've developed. We developed this now. Science and our technology developed drugs that could probably even give you that feeling. Ain't no probably about it, definitely. And that feeling is real. That feeling is real. It's tangible. You can feel it. You can demonstrate it. You can measure the body chemistry and see changes for the plus and for the minus, whatever that means. You could have negative ramifications for the way you believe and how you feel. It can bring you down. It can bring you up. Those feelings are real. But what are they based on? Nothing but belief. It doesn't even have to be reality. Remember, there's nothing, everything is subjective, so there is no reality. We could look at the same thing. We could both look at Jesus getting crucified on a stick, and you come out of it as him being a God saving humanity, and I might come out, look at it, see the same thing and go, what the heck? And that's cool. And we as humans need that. Faith, by definition, means you have no evidence. Faith means belief in things unseen. Now, I'm not trying to make the argument that God doesn't exist, regardless of how I feel. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is it's all about belief. The belief and how faith can give us human beings a tangible change in our body chemistry, in our psychology, and the way we feel. If you wake up every morning feeling God woke you up every morning and God gonna protect you, your day's gonna probably be better. You're probably gonna feel about a little better about the day. There was a study I read that overall, people in secular countries are happier. Overall, people in secular countries or areas are happier. That means where belief in God and religion doesn't play a large part. More science-based, more hands-on, I don't want to say practical, or, more tangible things. Faith is placed to more tangible things. They also said that religious people in religious communities are the happiest. So if you have your faith and your belief, and you wake up every morning and it's feeling good, and you just feeling so good about the security you have, God's protecting you. If you die, you're gonna go to heaven, and just everything is so good. Forgot where I was going with that. I mean, it's just gonna be better. And it's kind of the same thing with me and P-Funk and the Steelers. You're rooting for that team. It's like you're working for them. You put your passions and your faith and your just so much into it. And to see them come back and to win all them Super Bowls, and I'm walking around, it does something to your ego. Later, it does something to your ego later. But at first, it just makes you feel good. You just have it shapes your outlook on life. That the team or the music you passion is quote unquote successful, whatever successful means, or still prominent, or is, in this case, is a football game, so it's tangible. We don't have to have faith in a football game. We can see the football game. We know the rules. We know the protocol. There's not too much faith in there. Team wins, the team loses. What we do is we place faith in that our team is gonna win. And that sensation or that whatever it is inside us, that energy that we put into it, and anticipation and anxiety, and we get our stomachs get all in, what's it called? In tails, I can't even, our stomach in knots, and you get nervous. I'm not playing the football game. The Steelers are. So why am I getting all into it? Because it's real. It's tangible. It is tangible. My faith and belief in the game and the system, the game of football, and in my Steelers, and in my P-Funk, same thing. 40 years ago, I found that music, and it's sustained me ever since. I put my faith in it. Whatever it is, I'm not even sure what it is or why. Why does music on the one like that and those 5 Parliament records do that to me? What's that about? It kind of don't matter because everything is so subjective. It's about faith in what I believe unto myself. This is what I feel or have developed into believing, that these institutions in my life, whether am I delusional or I'm fooling myself or tricking myself or whatever, it's real. There's sustained, tangible pleasure and highs from just believing or following or having faith in or associating with or whatever. And then there's a social dynamic too. Meeting people, there's definitely a social thing to it. Being in a group, 70,000 people in the stadium screaming for that team, and that team comes out there and does something special, and you were there for that moment. And remember, in football, the athletes on the field are the best in the world. We are literally paying and training these athletes to basically do nothing but play football and do it better than anybody. Basketball, all the sports. That's all you do. That's all you do. You play football. And you play basketball. And I ain't gonna go down the shut up and dribble street, but that's a whole different story. But you play basketball. We have faith. We believe in you. We support you. We'll pay you millions. You'll generate millions. But you go out and you put on Steph Curry-like performances that dazzle us and amaze us. And we'll keep you. We'll pay your salary. We'll pay for you to live. You don't got to do nothing but that. Concentrate on that. Figure out the best way to do that. So when they're in that stadium and they know it's turned on and it's their time and the light's on them, all this training they've done all their lives to be the greatest athlete they can be, the greatest athlete that we can produce as human beings, go out there and do something spectacular. Like that Odell Beckham catch. That's just, to be in that moment, to catch it on TV, big time game, and pull something off like that. The athlete has to go to another level. So the athlete even has faith, belief, or get energized, or that testosterone gets up and get that superhuman ability. like what fuck, I guess they say a car fell on a child and a mother will find the strength to lift that. To me, that's not God. That's not Jesus giving you, that's you. That's evolution. And when people say that was God and Jesus, you know, God gave me the strength, God did this, that's taken away from billions of years of evolution that got us here. And all the millions and millions of people and animals and creatures that died in our evolutionary process that didn't quite make it to where we are, to the point to where we can pretty much wake up every day and I'd have to thank the stars for it, because we kind of understand what's going on now. In our evolutionary process, we developed into this being that where we're stable enough now that where our mortality rate has been low enough that where we can have faith, we can believe in it. We can believe that we're gonna be okay. Forgot where I was going with that. But, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to us, our beliefs, and that mother protecting her child. That strength that she got came from within her. No God, because if you ask me, if there was a God, and I'm not trying to argue the God point, that's not my point. But to me, if there was a God, a car wouldn't have fell on the child in the first place. Don't call God after the tragedy. Where was God when he could have prevented the tragedy? And like I said, that's not where I want to go right now. That's not the point at all. It's all about faith and belief. It's what you believe in. You believe in God can do these things for you. Some people believe Scientology do things for you. Some people believe that. We don't know. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what the standard is. We don't know what we need to do. We don't know what we need to be. So all things are basically equal. And that's based kind of on the lines of ignorance almost, you could say. Because we don't know. And I don't mean ignorance like, you know, somebody's ignorant, but because that sounds so demeaning, but ignorance as far as we just don't have the information yet. And again, I'm not trying to put God down. I'm not going the atheist route now. I'm past all that. I found my comfort and I've been, I want to say absolved, but I know that's not the word. I'm fulfilled that in my belief and understanding now, so that I'm no longer antagonistic to people who believe. In fact, I know that we need people who believe. We need all that. So, and there was a time when I had animosity, but no longer. So I'm not making that argument about God existed, because we need that. And a lot of things that were based on God or based in God, a lot of good things came from that. A lot of development. A lot of our development as human beings came from that. We use it as a governor or as a guideline. Or leaders used fear of God to control the masses. And they say that religion is the opiate of the masses, like it's something negative. There is no positive and negative well, there might be positive and negative, but that means, you know, taking or subtracting. So that's almost non-subjective. But up or down, left or right, good or bad, right or wrong, for whatever, however you want to categorize that or rationalize that, it worked. It helped us behave. It helped us be more social and to form bigger groups. Hell, Christianity got so big and so powerful, Rome, the government adopted it, brought it in. And as human beings, that's what we do. We did that. We did that. It's about what we believe, the individual. It comes down to what the individual believes. In a lot of cases, where the individual was born. It was born somewhere where Islam is the faith, Allah is their God. They're born somewhere where Jesus is the man. It's all about the Holy Trinity. But it's all about having something to believe, or something that you can loosely base a faith in or an understanding in, because I think we're all looking for an understanding. We may not be looking for a plan or a guideline or a schedule, but we need an overlying plan to help us make sense of everything. because we can't process every event individually. There's not enough time for that. So we have to group a bunch of stuff together and kind of compartmentalize certain things so that we can go through life. So I said all that to say that. That's why my Steelers and the things I believe in and things I like. Oh, I almost got to make another video about my number one passion. My number one passion is me. My number one passion by far is Jeffrey. It's all about self. So if you take your passion in God, you believe in God, your faith in God, God woke you up in the morning, all that. I have that in me. I literally have that in me and my capability. So that's what I'm thinking when I wake up in the morning. I ain't thanking God that he woke me up in the morning. I'm thanking all the ancestors and species and evolutionary processes that came before me and the development of humankind and the sciences and everything. I'm thanking everything, the science, everything. And someone say, well, everything is God. Everything can be your God, because remember in another video, God is anything that can't be wrong. And if I worship science, science can't be wrong. If we do it right, whatever wrong means, right or wrong. Anyway, my name is Jeffery Mitchell. Swinging on y'all twice. For me, for the funk, and for every atom or elementary particle that's ever existed in this or any universe that ever is, was, or will be. The totality of it all, y'all, in a theory of universe. My name is Jeffrey, I'm out.